Hey, what's up, good people? How you doing? Welcome back to Stock Up with Larry Jones. I got some guests in the building. I got my man, Keenan Grace, and my man, Chris Sane. Chris Sane, let me just bring you to the forefront, brother. You
What's
go
up,
ahead and
everybody?
greet. Yes, sir. Go ahead and greet the people.
What's up, YouTube? Larry, as always, man, pleasure to have me. Thanks for being here. I'm always humbled and honored. Keenan, you already know it's love, family. I love when I see you out here doing your thing, and when we get to link up, more importantly, to close out Black History Month, man. So let's have a good time today. Let's talk about the market, guys, and we're gonna unpack some things on today, and hopefully we edify the spirit and the soul with our unity on today.
Yes, I love that. I love that, my brother. It's a pleasure to have you here. We're going to get into it. Keenan, go ahead and greet the people.
Okay, thanks for having me on. Chris, it's always good to see you. Larry, it's always good to see you. I want to just say, happy Black History Month to everybody who's watching. I seen a statistic not too long ago. You might have heard of it yourself. Put a 1 in the chat if you knew this. Put a 2 if you just found out. But it turns out that minorities, whether you be Black or whatever, Hispanic or whatever, are now up 40% compared to 2 years ago in terms of how much stocks we own. So we are actually putting some of this money that we've been getting to work for us. We've been working our entire lives for money. It's time that our money started to work for us. And this is not to exclude any other groups, because we got people who are from Europe, people who are Caucasian, white, everything.
Yes.
All of us, we all getting money together now. All they try to do in this world is divide us, but it's not about that. The people at the top, they collaborating. The people at the bottom, they're competing. So let's collaborate and let's get this money together.
Whatever your race is, and you haven't been privy to the stock market before 2020, then you are who this video is for today. You are a minority to where big money, where trillions of dollars are traded daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. I want to say this, and I keep saying this, and a lot of people don't know. The New York Stock Exchange was established, I believe, in 1792, and then the United States was established. Not founded, was established. And then 16 years later, the New York stock market was established. All right? The United States was established, and then 16 years later, the stock market was established. So this is a long game, good people, a long game. So now I want to talk about a few things, but we got to talk about what's hot today, right? What's hot today was this crazy thing called Bitcoin. Now, I was live. Me and Chris was talking about that before we went on air. I was alive this morning, and I was telling the people about crypto. It might hit 62, then it pumped all the way up to 64, and then it just bloop, Coinbase flash, and I'm on live, and I go to show people my Coinbase account, and it just went blank. And you could see in my eyes the fear I had. I was like that dude with Ice Cube, say one more word, and then when he got when the other person got the gun, he was like, "Come on, man, I got a family." Man, I was so humbled when I saw that. I thought I was gonna have a heart attack. And I tried to stay cool because I was on the camera, man. What you got to say about that, Keenan? What happened?
I gotta say, I think it could be an innocent thing that happened, but I just find the timing to be really weird. I often don't believe in coincidences, and it reminds me of how history, it don't always repeat, but sometimes it rhymes. And the
Yep.
last time that people were getting money, I'm talking about everyday kind of people in a really fast way on a mass scale. I'm talking about not just people who watch stock market YouTube channels or
Mm-hmm.
Twitter or whatever, just everyday people who happen to be holding some crypto. It reminds
GameStop.
me of what happened with GameStop, where people were just, you know what, they ain't in the stock market, but they loaded up on some GameStop. And then now all of a sudden their account is acting a little odd, right? So the timing is just a little funny with the GameStop thing. And the timing was a little funny with the Coinbase shutting down everybody's accounts, or at least, and again, allegedly, right? Coinbase allegedly, supposedly, hypothetically, right? Nobody's trying to get sued. However, the timing, I got to just say, is odd. So then Bitcoin hit 64, like Larry just said. But then not too long after that, people go and see their account because they want to see what their crypto is up to. And now it's back down to where we are right now at 60,000. which is a good level. Let's be clear on that.
Yes.
If we could hold 60,000 and we could hold this for a few days, then we very likely going to hit a resistance level. And I tell you what that is at about 64,215. You see that? I'm almost certain we're going to hit all-time highs in like a day, if not the same day, if we hit that level. So if you didn't hear the exact number, just replay it back so you can hear it. But once we pass that resistance, if we don't hit a new all-time high, I'm going to be shocked. Anything could happen, right? It's the market. But just be on the lookout for how the powers that be who are running everything. Come on now. This is Coinbase. This ain't some new app. This is something that they knew people was going to rush on to. They've had heavy waves of people on the market. This ain't the first day. Remember when Shiba Inu was running up? Remember when Dogecoin was running up? Remember when Bitcoin was running up last time? They've encountered these kind of waves. So for me to believe that it's just a coincidence that it kind of went down, I ain't really going for it, in my opinion. And again, opinions, it's just opinions. It ain't right, it ain't wrong. What I imagine probably happened, you let me know what you think in the comments or in the chat. I think the people who are buying these ETFs, who have billions of dollars sitting on the sidelines, trillions of dollars sitting on the sidelines, made a call and said, Coinbase, I was trying to pick it up at 60. You told me I'd be able to. What happened? And then they say, yo, I got you. And drop it back from 64 to 60 so they can load up, and then they're going to pump us right back up. So let's see where it goes, family. I see you when we see
you. You know what? I'm going to try after you, Chris, I haven't heard it all, but I got to play this video clip. Chris, after you make your comment, there's a video clip and it says Wall Street scrambling to buy Bitcoin. All right. But you go ahead, Chris, and say what you think is going on.
Keenan kind of spoke to it, Larry. I think whenever I see something run up and the fear of missing out kicks in because Wall Street was out of position, they got caught off sides, not thinking Bitcoin and the cryptos is going to do what
chapter.
they did.
And you're making money. Leave me. Sorry about that.
And then just like Palo Alto, just like crypto, y'all see the drops they had. All that is so they can get in. And then ironically, it shoot right back up. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, it was just one of those things. They got caught on the wrong side, and they needed to freeze the market, do whatever market makers do to make sure the big dogs can get in.
You got it.
As usual.
You got it. I concur. That's all I got to say. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to play this video. And let's see if we can get the screen up, gentlemen, and I'll be right back to you guys. Let me try to get this going. I need people to hear this, that played earlier today.
All right, folks, some news just as the show started. Apparently some Coinbase users are experiencing errors in buying and selling, as well as seeing empty account balances. This is some scary stuff. This stock has been on fire, but they're investigating that right now. And by the way, this comes as, of course, we were talking about Apple giving up on these EV dreams. Well, everyone seems to be embracing Satoshi Nakamoto's dream, right? Because everyone now buying Bitcoin. And a lot of it has to do with these 9 Bitcoin ETFs. Yesterday, they broke a volume record, $2.4 billion. And it looks like it's going to keep going on and on and on. With me now, Pomp Investments investor Anthony Pompliano. And ironically, you talked about this being the driver of the next leg up. You just told me because of these ETFs, I guess too much money chasing too few Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean, look, what we're watching right here is
we don't even have to watch the rest of that, good people. You heard what he said, right? You guys heard what he said. Too much money chasing too little Bitcoin, right? Too much money chasing too little Bitcoin. The three of us have been saying, listen, one of the things I appreciate about Chris saying, one of the things that I appreciate about Keenan Grace is they talk about these plays when they're low. They talk about it when it's a good time to accumulate, not when it has already ran. I watch both of these gentlemen all of the times. I'm friend and been out with both of these gentlemen all the time, including myself. We try to feed the family when it's beat down and nobody's talking about it, right? And then we buy and we hold, or we dollar cost average, right? Then when it comes up, now everybody, just like he said, Wall Street wants some of this crypto. So it goes up and breaks the system. And now we got to see what's going to play out. Now, my Coinbase is back up, and it's correct because, you know, I know every penny that's in all of my accounts. But what do you think is going to, Chris, what do you think about crypto in general from here on out?
I think it's alive and well. I think with the halving on its way, I think you guys, you and Keenan and Stocks with Josh and Stock Mo, y'all been spot on with just carrying the people the message about what's to come. And yeah, some of it might be down today, but I look in totality. The run that it has had from Mara to Sound AI to Bitcoin hitting 64K, man. Again, we remember when it was under 20.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
We've been loading up on Ethereum and Bitcoin. Again, doing the work when it's low so you can put your feet up when it's high. You know what I'm saying? And so, no, I just think Wall Street, like always, is a little late to the party. But when their money come in, it just moves prices higher. And so, like Keenan said, don't be surprised to see us hit that 64.2 level and beyond as more money pile into Bitcoin. And again, that's going to lift Ethereum because a rising tide lifts all boats. So you just see a nice push. Now, I do always give a caveat for listeners. We have PCE tomorrow morning coming out. And so those are opportunities for them to sometimes stall momentum. It can't stop it, but it can put a temporary pause on momentum. Again, like Keenan said, allowing Wall Street, who missed the ride so far, to get in. Okay, and so yeah, man, I wouldn't be surprised if we may see a little stagnation tomorrow into Friday, but it's really posturing and positioning so that those that has missed the ride so far can get on the train and then go higher as crypto continue to dominate.
My man, something. We know how these cycles go. We know that the halving hasn't. We're going to get to regular stock in a minute. We know that how the cycle goes, right? The altcoins always follow. They lag, right? I want you guys to check this out and see if you can. Bump Pepe and Doge Wife, two of the ones that we have been talking about. All right, they are leading this cycle. Okay. The reason why I wanted to say that is with crypto, you cannot get married to what you were with last year, right? You got to leave him or her alone and you got to find you somebody new. This is the only time where it's good to cheat. Okay. So I'm just going to put that out there. Hey, I'm going to take a station break right here and then we're going to get into some stocks. But before I do that, I just want to take my hat off to Chris Sain. Brother, let me tell you something. When I got into this game, this YouTube game, I didn't know anyone out there like me. I really didn't. And I didn't see anybody. I didn't know this space in the finance space, right? So in 2020, when I started my page, and then people kept saying, Chris Sain coming to the page. And when I went and found you, I was like, oh, okay, he's been doing this. I think you were doing it like a year prior to that, or a couple of years prior to that. So I just want to take my hat off to you because it was good to see somebody already out there doing it, even before I got into it. So what happened, good people, what had happened was, as they say, I'm telling you, this is like crazy. I'm just thinking about this now. And I thought about it when Keenan had us both on. I made a video and I shouted both of these gentlemen out. And I said, these are two pages you should be watching and not just mine. And I made that video 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. It had to be at least 2.5 to 3 years ago, right?
Yep.
And I had no idea that we would ever meet. And here we are, right? And both of these gentlemen have been killing it. I just want to take my hat off to both of you guys and to anyone out there that looks like us, right? And I know this video is for everybody. We simply wanted to make this video to let you know that you could do anything. right? You can do anything. You have three of us, young and beautiful and successful, right? And there is more than one avenue to becoming financially free, all right? And just living a good, clean, wholesome life. It's cool to be living a clean, good, wholesome life, all right? What do you guys say about that, Chris?
I just want to say thank you, man. I told you when you called me this morning, I was doing coaching calls today, and at least one call a week, Larry. I walk alongside the people, so deeper than YouTube, I try to come alongside, hold hands if I need to, and sure enough, that's why I told you, Larry. If you ever need something, man, I got at least $30,000 for you, bro.
I appreciate
Because one person, at least
Yo,
a
Chris, let me
day,
hold $1, man.
one person a day at least say, Chris, man, I'm calling you. I was referred to your page by Larry Jones, or today, Keenan, somebody shouted you out.
Oh,
Somebody
word.
said I was watching Keenan, and Keenan always say, man, go watch Chris saying, go watch Larry.
Yep.
And so I get to hear these things when I'm talking to real people every day about just how they make their way to our ecosystems and to
Right.
our communities and stuff like that. So I want to thank both of you guys, man, because I do the same thing, man. Like, I'm not the only voice of reason. I feel like what you all are doing is phenomenal. And sometimes, like, I know Uncle Larry, he is that uncle for so many people in this community. And the elders like Larry. You know what I'm saying? The young cats like Larry because he got wisdom. He got swag. He got all of that. And then Keenan, me and you cover the younger crowd, 40
Right.
and under, you know what I'm saying, where they got a positive, high character, high integrity guy to look after.
Right.
And that's what somebody said today too, man. Like, man, Chris,
Yeah.
I follow you. They said you keep the videos to 10 minutes. You don't never have no fluff. And you always just straight to the point. You know what I'm saying? And they
Yeah.
said more stuff in there too, but that's what we're getting at. It's not a whole bunch of gimmick stuff going on.
Yeah.
Right.
We just trying to help as many people as we can help
Right.
when we come on these videos each and every day. So
Yeah.
I just want to say major salute to both of you guys.
Well, let me say
Appreciate that.
this. I'm going to continue to say that. A lot of people ask me, do you do one-on-one? Do you one-on-one? Somebody asked me that yesterday. I said, hey, go check out Chris Sane. Listen,
Yeah.
don't let anybody else tell you different. There's a saying in the hood of the people, and that is game recognizes game, right? I watch his plays for years, not weeks or months, for years. He watches my plays. We watch Keenan plays for years. There is no way I would send you to him for a coaching call if I didn't think he was good. So anyone
Right.
asking me for one-on-one coaching calls, I don't do that. But I know somebody I can put you in good hands, and that's Chris Sane. So get your phone ready, Chris Sane, because your phone gonna blow up. Because
Right.
I know it's already blowing up, but man, you're gonna have to just like clone yourself a couple of times. But as far as that is if you want coaching calls, Chris Sane is the man. And if you want to do options, right, and you want to see someone do options every week, I'm going to tell you that Keenan Grace has that. Let's go into some stocks. Let's talk about the overall market. Let's talk about some things that people can do to get more knowledge. Number one, we know we have classes and stuff, so I'll have a link, and I'm going to leave Stock Up You at the end. But there's things that you could do right now that cost zero money. It just costs effort. Like I started what's called the $5 a day challenge. Keenan has a challenge and Chris has a challenge. We don't get anything off of this challenge. We're just challenging you to take money every time you get paid, every day, every paycheck, whether it's bi-weekly, bi-monthly, or monthly, and invest in the overall stock market. Invest in the S&P. Invest in the overall stock market. Yes, we talk a lot about ticker symbol VOO and VTI, but you got to get started somewhere. Now, I say start a side hustle because you know your job got you tapped. I say start a side hustle and invest every dime of it and start by $5 a day. But what should be a minimum for everyone is to at least invest 10% of everything you make and start with there. Your start really should be 10%. And then all of your other bills should come behind that. Now, Chris Sain, I know you loaded with this because I hear you talking about me and you are right here as it pertains to this. Talk to the people, Chris.
Absolutely, guys. If you are working, to Uncle Larry's point, don't despise your 9 to 5. Your job is your first investment. It gives you the capital so that you can put some money in your retirement account. If you have a job and they offer a 401k plan or 403b or 457 or whatever it is you may have at your place of employment, you need to start there with making sure you at least do up to the company match if they match it all. But if you can start 3 to 7%, once you kind of get the money to be out of sight, out of mind, you won't miss it. That's the first step that you guys want to make sure you're using your place of employment as your first investor. Like Larry said, after that, guys, you want to then, if you have a side hustle, a part-time job, whatever it is you can do to bring in some supplemental income, now that's where you can start having a little more money go into your outside account, your individual taxable brokerage accounts, such as Fidelity, such as Vanguard, Webull, if you have that, Robinhood, and so on and so forth. And then that's where you can kind of take control outside of your target date fund that your job might have. You can invest in VOO or VTI or NVIDIA or Bitcoin. And you guys can start your own financial journey lateral to what you have at your place of employment. So don't despise your 9 to 5. It is the number one thing you want to use to kickstart the rest of your life. And your younger self going to thank you when you get older, because you're going to be like, man, the decisions I made when I was younger helped me live this life now that I'm older. And so, guys, put in the work now.
Yeah.
Stop looking at your job and you can't stand your boss and all this stuff. Get over that. Just have some financial goals for yourself within the job. Man, I'm just here so I can save my first $1,000 for my emergency fund. I want to get my first $10,000 just so I can say I reached that milestone. 63% of Americans can't even oftentimes afford a $400 emergency because they don't have $1,000 in their emergency fund. We can change all that by how we approach our job. So don't despise your 9 to 5 is what I want to put on you guys today.
Man, that's great. I totally I appreciate that. And I'm telling you guys, treat that information like it's life. All right. We're talking to everyone. All right. The truth be told, we're all minorities to this stock market. As early as Chris got in, as early as I got in, I actually made my first, I know I'm finna age myself. I made my first investment in 1992. Yes, I was 5 for some of you out there, but it was still too late. And that's what we need to start teaching. I want everyone listening to us to start teaching your young people now. You may think they don't understand. They will run circles around you. What a 9-year-old understands about money, finances, in the stock market. Keenan, go ahead and tap on what people can do today to set themselves up for financial freedom.
Investment calculator. Google that. Investment calculator. What you're going to do is you're going to end up on an investment calculator, it's called, and it's going to tell you, hey, if you invest this amount of money for this amount of time and put 10% for the return on average, that's the stock market for like the last 100 years. Sometimes it's down, sometimes it's up, but on average, because we're going to do this for the long term. And you go and you check. If you put in $100 a month, what are you going to end up with in 15 years, in 30 years? If you put 500, what are you going to end up with in 15 years, in 30 years? You go and you look. And when I first went and did this, and the reason I want you to really sit down with yourself, and this ain't going to help me, Larry, Chris, nobody out except you is going to help out. And honestly, it is going to help us out because we're going to have one more soldier in this war for financial literacy. And I say that to say, once you find out how long it's going to take you to get to that 10,000, right? How long it's going to take you to get to that 20,000, 50,000, you're going to see how possible it is. And when I first started using the investment calculator, and this is honestly started me on my journey because I found out about it. I was putting a few dollars in like, let's call it 2015, 2014, and I'm investing into the market. And then I'm like, yo, let me go put some math behind this. I look at the average return, 10% for the last 100 years, sometimes up, sometimes it's down. I say, yo, if I could do this for how many years, I'm gonna get to be a millionaire. And I was gonna be a millionaire in like, it was gonna take me like 17 years or something like that, right? At the time, at the current rate that I was doing it. But remember, the more you put in, the more it's gonna return back from you when you invest it into the S&P overall, because it compounds. So then my goal was, all right, I got 17 years, I'm gonna keep at this. But every extra dollar I get, because I was a public school teacher, I'm gonna do after school programs, get a stipend for that. I'm gonna go and tutor, and I'm gonna get extra money from that. I'm gonna put that, at least some of it, into this investment, and then try to reduce my 17 to 15 to 14, right? Just bring it down as much as I could. And guess what? I couldn't believe, and it's no disrespect to my ancestors or anybody, when I figured out how simple it was mathematically to become a millionaire, it was shocking to me that nobody in my family has done it before, right? So then I was thinking, oh, I'm just gonna have to be the trailblazer and lead the way for it. And I'm never gonna shame nobody who didn't do it before, but I'm gonna educate them and help bring them up with me, because it's enough money out here for all of us, but you got to be willing to do the work. And I want to recommend a book to you. It's called Atomic Habits. Now, this book, go and Google that. And if you can, go and load up on it. It's gonna teach you about how doing little atomized tasks regularly are going to add up to being a whole thing. If you look at yourself, like I'm talking about scientifically, you made out of trillions and trillions of atoms, but all of those things added up is you. If you go and you treat your life like that and you do these little itemized tasks, then you're going to make these little things turn into something huge. I'm talking about consistency over a long period of time. That's how you build wealth. It's not magic. That's how you build spiritual wealth, financial wealth. That's how you build physical wealth in terms of your health. You got to do the work time and time again over a long period of time. And I believe that you could do it. And again, that's why we on here making these videos every single day, because every day we might be able to grab another new person and put them on the right path. So we're going to keep at it.
Yes. So I'm going to talk about something, and we're going to talk about options for a minute. And I want you guys to think about, to tell people what they could do to protect themselves from not blowing up their options accounts. Okay. But I just wanted to say this. The United States was not founded, but was established in 1776. In 1792, I believe that's 16 years later, the stock market was established. So that's more than 100 years, right? 1792. So think about that. That's how long this game has been going on. And I call it a game because they teach you to go to school so you could work the factories. And that factory for you may be a cubicle, right? The only difference in somebody making 50,000 and 150,000 is the size of their car, size of their house, and their bills. Same deal. They're in the same spot, 3 paychecks away from being broke, right? But we are all, the 95%, are taught to go to school. Nothing wrong with school, but school debt, there's a problem, right? The average person, 15 years later, still paying their school debt, but they won't let us come and teach financial literacy, right? And then we work the rest of our lives to take care of the 5%. So why not wake up one day, today, and say, let me own the companies that this 5% owns. And so now I'm not just a consumer, I'm a creator. Creator of what? Wealth, right? If you truly want to be emancipated from this system, you must be financially emancipated from this system. And the reason why our ancestors didn't teach us, because they weren't taught. They didn't know, because it was not, they didn't let it be taught. I had a school teacher that tried to teach me this in my freshman year in high school. And I remember it like it was yesterday. And he got reprimanded from going against the curriculum. Can you believe that, Keenan? He went against the curriculum because he wanted to teach us this, right? So I'm going to shift now and go into options. But I want to show you guys something that happened today, okay? And then I'm going to transition, all right? So this is a play that I got into. And as you could see, if you could see, that's a Rivian option, I made 161% in a matter of 2 hours or so, right? Now, I want to show you this. I'm going to do a station break and tell you guys that you guys, everyone that does not have this class, you need to go ahead and get Stock Up You. And it's 50% off of what it's going to be. And I want you to know that I have an entire chapter on crypto where you can make a killing. And it's not just myself, but you see this handsome young man here, Keenan Grace, he's going to help you beginners with options. Josh is going to help you if you know absolutely nothing with charting. And I teach you about the overall basics of the stock market. Why? So you too can learn a skill now where you can make plays like these. Now, for those of you that keep blowing up your options, okay, accounts because you're going greedy, you know how it is. You go in light on the plays that's going to make a lot of money, right? And then you go in heavy on your losers, right? Chris, I know you got some basic fundamentals that they need to stick to, and then Keenan, we're going to end with you.
Absolutely, man. Going in heavy. Oftentimes, guys, you're setting yourself up to have anxiety when you're trading. Anxiety leads to you not respecting your trading plan. And when you don't respect your trading plan, you may not have your stop loss on. You may hold your losers long instead of cutting a loss and then sell your winners quick. But being oversized, having your position outsized, meaning you got too many contracts, you're leveraging too much money, is one of the number one mistakes you're making, because you're either revenge trading, trying to make up for previous losses, and or you might see a Larry who has made millions in the market, Keenan who also has as well, and then now you're trying to covertly catch up to that when you don't know the process, the journey, the time they put in to accumulate that Rivian type of play time and time again. And so you're trying to mimic something that, again, I'll tell you guys all the time, it took me 2.5 years to master my craft.
Yep,
That's why I
right.
hit him off the park so consistently. So you got to at least give yourself a grace period to go through your learning curve, to go through your developmental bumps and bruises that you're going to take in this game. But having your position size too big out the gate because you're trying to make too much money versus just learning what you're doing as it relates to your entry, your exit, where your support zone is at, your resistance zone, the areas is at, your supply and demand zones. These things will assist you on your journey, but you got to make sure you understand those first when
Hey,
you're
Chris,
starting out.
thank you for that. I want you to stick a pin right there. I heard you say this when we all got together in California there and did the fundraiser. You said you already know how much you're willing to lose before you go into an option play. Can you touch on that?
Absolutely. Oftentimes, you have to reverse engineer when you want to trade and make money. We often look and approach the market with, I'm trading options because I want to make this much money. No, you have to reverse engineer that and think about how much you're willing to lose. On each trade, my losing threshold is $1,000, no more than $2,000. So every trade I take, I know that's how much I'm willing to lose. So that's where my stop loss will be, somewhere around that level, because I'm willing to make sure my entry is on point. But in the event it goes against me, I know I'm taking $1,000 loss, and I'm okay with that, because to
Right.
Larry's point, when we win, it's 3,000, it's 5,000, it's 7,000, and don't let me knock one out the park, and it's even more than that. Okay,
Yep.
and so you guys have to understand, know how much you want to lose versus how much you're trying to make each trade. It's a game changer on your journey.
Appreciate that. I'm going to say this before I let Keenan talk. I have a rule. You have to know your own disciplines, right? You got to be honest with yourself. I have a rule for myself. There were days where I did an option, and I one day I did 14,000. One day I did 22,000 on one option. My personal rule is I'm not trading the next day. The most dangerous day for me to do an option is after the day after a huge win, a big win, right? And so for me, what'll happen is you'll start to get addictive and have a gambling mentality. So you go from being a trader to a gambler just like that. And now you go, hey, I made 22,000 yesterday. I'm gonna make 50,000 a day. No, you're not. You're gonna lose 30,000 plus the 22,000 you made the day before,
Facts.
Right,
right?
right.
Facts.
And so you have to know and be honest with you. It to
That's
me
so true.
is simple. You if you got $1,000, if you got $10,000, then you should split that up into 10 different trades over a period of time and not put the entire $10,000 at risk on one option. Keenan, go further with that.
So this is what people often do in my experience when I see them and they new to the game, right? They never start investing. Investing is you buy an ETF or a great company like Apple, for example, or Home Depot, because your dad always going there. You like, yeah, I know this. Nike, you buying a great company or ETF and you hold it. You just owning more of the company. Nobody starts there who get into the game nowadays. They don't want to invest. They want to just trade without first learning how to trade. Trading means you getting in, you getting up, and you getting out. So what happens is this: they go full port on it, and that means full portfolio. They got $1,000. They get into a crazy risky one. They turn it into $2,000. They turn that 2 into 4. They turn that 4 into 8, and then they get in with the 8, and then they turn the 8 into 0, because that can only work so many times in a row before your trade setup ain't gonna be on point. So understand this: the market at some points in time you can't control it, because even if Wall Street is in there, they're doing things that sometimes it's predictable, but every now and again, you get what's called a false signal. You'll get a signal that's saying go, but it's really a signal that should have been a no, and that'll destroy your portfolio. So now, what do? Just like Chris said, you got to reverse engineer your loss from the top. You got to say, how much am I willing to lose? I recently got into, I'm talking about, I might have hit 10 straight trades in a row. I want to say in the last maybe all month, really, like 10 in a row, just on point, on point, on point, on point, all in profit. What do? I don't get the big head and think, oh man, I'm never gonna lose. I do it the exact same as if this is a totally new trade. This is what I'm willing to lose, and then that's all I'm gonna put on that. So then how do I think about this? I say to myself, yo, let's say that I killed it one day like Larry and I made $14,000. If I'm gonna trade the next day, I'm not gonna act like I had 20 and then I got 14 on top of that. Now I'm at 34. No. I'm only gonna use some of the profits. Some of the profits. So I'm trading with the house's money. So if I made 14 in profit, I might go trade with $2,000 or $5,000. Because even if I was to lose the whole thing, I'm still in profit because I'm only using the house's money. But I wouldn't even use the 2,000 that I just put into this new trade from the profits and lose all of that, because I would still put a stop loss on that. So I'm using the house's money and then I'm using theirs well. I'm risk managing Wall Street's money to trade for me instead of only using mine. So what I want you to do is this: let's say you get into a trade and it's going to be $100 stock, $100 option, whatever. Immediately in your brain, all trades are paired. They're paired with the stop loss. I get into a trade, I get into a stop loss. They just go together like peanut butter and jelly. You got to always think about that. If you hear somebody else saying, yo, I'm getting into this trade, you ask them, yo, where are you putting your stop loss? Where are you going to get out if this goes left? If you don't hear that, or you don't think that, or they can't answer that for you, it's time to unsubscribe. You understand what I'm saying? It's time to get up out of there. It's time to say, yeah, we don't got no risk management. We don't got no end game to, if this don't go our way and all we hearing is this thing to the moon. Oh yeah, you in the wrong family. It's time to abort the mission and go somewhere else that you could be trusted. Like Chris saying would say, for example, it's time to find your trusted voice. Because
Right.
again,
Right.
when we in these certain chat rooms, when we in these certain places on Twitter or TikTok, and everybody telling you, yo, just go and buy this. Like you might be hearing nowadays, just go and buy Bitcoin. Now that's all the way up here. Let's say that you did hear that. Yo,
Right.
go and buy Bitcoin at 60K. And you got to say, okay, if I'm gonna buy it, what if it don't go our way? Where am I letting it go? No, you're gonna be coming and asking that question 3 months later, and then Bitcoin done fell back down because of the halving, right? No, that's not how you play that. You got to say, I'm only willing to risk. I put 1,000 in. I'm only willing to risk 200, for example, or even 100. If it passes out, pass it, or after that, then I'm out. So I want you to just think of it like this: if you ever get into a trade, and this is the last thing I want to say, always pair it with your risk management or you will blow up your account. Not blowing up an account is easy. It's easy to not blow up an account. All you got to do is respect your capital. Respect the money that you put in. Remember that you went and you worked hard for that, right? Nobody gave you that. Nobody donated that to you. You went and bust. Yeah, you know what? To make that money. So now act like you respect it. Put a stop loss on it. Have some risk management, and then start to really think critically, or else Wall Street is going to take everything from you like they already did. You just ain't even know it.
Wow.
Facts.
Yep. Hey, this has been great. Two things, gentlemen. One, I want to have a national day, and I'm going to reach out to as many influencers as I call us encouragers and not influencers, because our job is really to encourage you. But I want to start a national custodial account day, right? And I'm going to reach out to the two of you gentlemen. I'm going to get as many influencers as I can, and we're going to create a national custodial account day so we can open up accounts with just $100, at minimum, for our kids and our kids' kids, or our neighbors' kids, our nieces and nephews. I'm going to find out when Americans spend the most money. It may be close to Christmas time, but would you guys help me out with that?
Absolutely.
I
You
appreciate it.
count me in.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Chris, go ahead and talk about whatever you want to talk about and have parting words for the good people.
Absolutely, guys. Understand this before we get out of here today. The market is at or near all-time highs. So don't come late to the party trying to deploy all your capital. Wait patiently for some pullbacks. There will be opportunities. No matter what you think, you might have missed the bus. You think it ain't coming back to the train station, it's coming back. Okay. Be patient. Be having some stocks on your radar that you want to deploy capital into when they come into an area that makes sense. There's no need of chasing something when you can just understand that everything will at some point come back down to a reasonable level. And so, guys, be respectful of your hard-earned money. You want to put it to use, but you want to put it to good use, purposeful use, not just throwing it in at all-time highs. And then we have that 20% correction. And then now you're discouraged because you didn't wait. Okay. And we're not saying you can't invest because you can dollar cost average at these levels, but I'm saying avoid loading the boat and backing up the Brinks truck, but you versus consistently dollar cost averaging at these levels. So that's what I would say, guys. At all-time highs, be mindful of your investments.
That is so cool. I appreciate you, man. It is a pleasure having you on, brother. Enjoyed hanging out with you. Hey, I got to get you to this desk, brother. I want you to just
coming.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're going to hang out. It is good. You guys see, do you guys see how we not tearing each other up, unfortunately, like the comedy community is doing, how we building each other up? Like Keenan said it, like we working together. We too busy. Successful people are too busy working together and not tearing each other down. Keenan, have your final parting words. You go ahead, sir.
So I was thinking about new people who get into the market since you were talking about custodial accounts and how people who are afraid to get in. We are near all-time highs, and you should definitely be cautious and heed what Chris Sain just said about dollar cost averaging. That means pick a dollar amount that you could afford on a regular basis and just do that. Don't even look at what the price is and just say, hey, I got $10 a week. If it was $1 a week, it's better than what you was doing before, right? And just put that in at regular intervals again and again. And if you get more money, throw that in there too, right? Into like an ETF, like a broad ETF. Look up VTI, look up VOO, for example, to consider dollar cost averaging in. Now, I want to say this. If I wanted to be an electrician, I'm not going to start going downstairs in my house and looking at the breaker and trying to figure it out on my own. I'm going to call somebody who know what they're doing, or go take some lessons and talk to somebody who already know what they're doing. If you are a beginner in the market and you want to cut your learning curve in half, you can spend a lot of time. There's a whole lot of free resources on the internet. But if you want to cut this learning curve to get the time down, I'm telling you to go and join Stock Up You. It is well worth the money, especially for those who value their time. If you want to learn how to do fundamental analysis, go learn about what options are, go learn about the market in general, and you are on a time constraint or you just in a rush to go and learn, but you want it to be on point, go and join Stock Up You. Again, a link is going to be in the description. I'm telling you, you're not going to regret it. You're going to be like, yo, I should have did it sooner. Everybody who I heard who has talked to Chris, everybody who I heard who went to the Stock Up You, they honestly telling me they should have did it sooner. Larry was just telling you that we did an event for charity in LA, and everybody there, what were they talking about? Man, oh man, Chris, I talked to you on the phone. That was some of the best thing. Man, I'm so glad I did it. Or Larry, I bought your class. I seen somebody crying. We went to an event in Chicago. Dude was crying in there saying, yo, I should have did it earlier. I should have bought it earlier. Right? Why? Because we really trying to put game on you. We really trying to help you out. And again, I want to just be clear. There's free resources on the internet. If you have no money to do it, you have no money to get anything, we putting videos out on YouTube for free. Just open a new tab up on YouTube and call it favorites and just add these to your favorites. Add when you find a good video, Chris saying talking about options, add that to your favorites. You see Larry talking about fundamentals, add that to your favorites. So then you can have your own list. But if you want it already done and set for you in a great way, then go and join, like we were just talking about, the coaching from Chris saying, and if not, and to be honest, really, because it's a whole different thing. We don't really, I told you, we don't compete. We collaborate. Go and join the coaching with Chris saying and get Stock Up You. So again, we really, really want y'all to win. And we know you could do it. And like I said, proper preparation prevents poor performance. Let's be prepared, not surprised.
So, hey, good guys, I'm going to leave it right there, good people. I appreciate both of these gentlemen. Chris saying the honor is mine. The next time they see us, we're going to be sitting together at this desk. Keenan has graced the desk. Stocks with Josh has graced the desk, man. And, man, we just got the synergy going on where we are helping, I believe, millions of people.
Absolutely.
Not just hundreds of thousands of people. We are helping millions of people with free information. If you don't buy any of the classes or take advantage of any of this, like he said, there is so much free information online. But if you want to cut your journey down by 1/5 of the time, right, then take the class. So the number one thing I hear all of the time is I took your class and in a month I've made 5, 10 times, 20 times, one guy said, the price of the class. Now I have that skill and I can continue to apply that skill and to make money here on out. When we were out, I saw people come up to Chris saying, they were like, man, my portfolio was night and day. All I was doing was losing money until I found you. I've heard the same about people say that about YouTube. And so we know that is the ultimate blessing for us. Those words, you have changed my family's life. You have helped me to see my financial journey. Listen, I got so much I want to tell you guys. Simple stuff. Like, believe it or not, the average person's retirement is around $370,000. 401k, right? You work all your life, and the average 401k retirement is somewhere around $370,000. You can have that and invest just $5 a day from the age of 25 to the age of the regular age of retirement and have over 1.2 million. You see how this is? So you work all those years in your 401k, and the truth be told, you can invest just $5 in S&P and still blow your 401k out. But still keep your 401k, still max it out. But what I'm saying is take control of your own money. I'm going to leave it right there because, man, I just want to feed the family so much game. All right? We love you guys. Hey, guys, this has been great. Live, love, laugh, and learn. We'll see you later.